Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this Monday edition of the channel. This is your host, Akeem Hong, and we like to say that we are over 15 subscribers. Pat yourself on the back. Congratulations, you have earned it. Now, before we go to everything, I wanted to break the ice just a little bit and tell you the reason why I decided to do the notes and things for all the MSI things and then decided to stop. So I decided that if there's some kind of incredible play or some kind of misinformation that they didn't notice, that I decided to utilize my information and decided to put it in notes, like write it down, all those kind of things, and just like, okay, there's a big play there, there's a big play over there, and there's like that's it. That's the where the game ends. But unfortunately, I've realized that in this tournament, there's gonna be lots of best of fives. And for me, trying to analyze every single best of five imaginable would be too hard for me. Plus, I have TV shows to watch, sports to watch, games to play. Of course, I have a new game that I love, but I'm not gonna tell you because it'll be a secret. So yeah, I think because of that, and because of the compact schedule, and the fact that I have to wake up at around 6 a.m. for some of the matches, that it's virtually impossible to do that whole note thing and write down all the crazy things that are coming on the MSI, which is virtually impossible. So I apologize for all the people who did not get to see it. I'm sorry. It is what it is. I did, of course, did some shorts on some of the games as well. I did some of the few games. I did the one where I have to sit really silently and listen to Coronation Street, which was kind of like the sad song to the West, getting absolutely clapped by all the Eastern regions and all that kind of stuff, which is, to be honest, kind of expected, but also a little bit of sad because I really, really, really was hoping that the Western teams could win. I would really want it, but unfortunately, it didn't happen. So yeah, it is what it is. So so I'm gonna let the noise play out. Okay, there it is. So let's just remember, everybody, that we are on to the second week of the mid-season invitational. For the next 5 days until the 21st, we will have five best of fives to determine our MSI champion. Two lower bracket matches, the upper bracket matchup, one lower bracket matchup, and then the other lower bracket matchup, and then the grand final. So five best of fives, 5 days, one champion. And before we get to that, let's just go look back at week one. And I'm gonna give you the most brutal, honest truth ever in League of Legends. And I know many people have heard it, but I decided to do this. The West will never win an international tournament ever again. And I'm sorry to be the burden of bad news, but that is the truth. If you look at all of these score lines, oh geez, that's a little too close. That's a little close. Okay. If you look at all of this, all of these score lines in the upper bracket, it is just awful. Look at how awful the upper bracket matches are. 3-1, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0. 12 and 1 in all of those matches. And you can make an argument that the G2 Gen G series was kind of like the closest we ever got. G2 won in game 4, could have, no, actually, G2 won game 5. I'm sorry, I got confused. G2 won game 3 with a Kennen top lane and a Poppy jungle. And I gotta say that Yike was incredible in this game, pretty much incredible throughout this entire tournament. He was really smurfing on the poppies and the jungler matchup, especially the Nidalee early on, where Nidalee was elite, but now she's no longer there and she kind of sucks right now. But Yike is playing pretty much out of his mind throughout this tournament. And they've won game 3 because of it. They should have won game 4 because of how close it is. To put this in perspective, how really close game 4 was. I'm gonna pull this up. There you go. This is how game 4 looks. Game 4 looks like it was a really close game. It was a really close game throughout like about 6 or 7 minutes, and then around 20, 19 minutes, it was kind of like meh. it was over after that time. So, what I will say that the Gen G G2 series was kind of like not surprising in terms of scoreline, and I would say that G2 lost. I would say that G2 performed pretty well, especially in games 3 and 4. That makes you want to feel like, okay, at least they're showing me something. Sadly, the rest of the series have not. Oh my god, the rest of the series have not. So T1 versus BLG, T1 versus Mad Lions was not even close by the ever stretch of the imagination. It was not even close. If you look at game one, and I'm going to go to game one right now. If you look at game one, it was 33-29. Now you're thinking to yourself, it was like a long, drawn out game and then T1 winning. No, it was Mad Lions put a back and forth action throughout the game. It was 23-28 in terms of kills. But as you heard from some of the radio analysts, the kills don't matter. Like literally, the kills don't even matter. And T1 did what every single team against Man Lions did not do. They banned out the Dragons. They banned out the Dragons in game one. Banned out the Dragons in game two, and then banned out the Dragons in game three. Like T1 decided, Niski, you're good at Gragas. We're gonna take that away from you, and they did. They literally did. Gumi was incredible. He was an absolute beast. Like he was an absolute beast throughout this series. But that was not the one that really triggers Mad Lions fans. This game three does. I want you to look at this clock right now, and I just want every single Mad Lions fan to be mad at me and cross me and go on Twitter and saying you are the worst YouTube channel ever and unsubscribe me right now. And I just tell you, I don't care. And man, it was a brutal game. It was a brutal game. Just look at that. Mad Lions has some moments, but boy, this game was not even close. Gumi dominates on the Jinx. 10-0-3. The game was over. The game was over before even Baron. This was 4 minutes before Baron. Like this was less than 4 minutes before Baron. This game was over at that time. And then the absolute, dare I say, mental of some of the people who honestly were on Niski's back. Can I say something about this? The person who tweeted about Niski not giving a damn about a competitor should be burned in flames and go to hell. Because what you have done is just absolutely horrific and not reading the room as well. I mean, yeah, what Niski has done, he shouldn't respond to that back. But dude, do you not play for any team in your League of Legends career? Do you not go to any locker room and tell them how they feel? Niski was trying to make a good of a horrible situation. Like, look, T1 was losing to the greatest team in all of League of Legends, was the greatest player ever to grace League of Legends. All right, they lost to T1. They lost to T1. What are you gonna do? Don't smile about it. Be depressed. Have your head down. Let's remember, everybody, that this tournament have a lower bracket. There is a lower bracket in this tournament. So it's not like Mad Lions lose and just like, oh man. No, they had a lower bracket, and we're gonna talk about the lower bracket. It wasn't pretty, but yeah, it was. So yeah, I'm sorry, but the whole situation with the Niski thing was kind of disgusting for me. He deserves. I mean, trust me, that was baseless on his part. Really baseless on his part. I think he doesn't know how the players feel about the match and he didn't realize the behind the scenes and all the locker rooms and all those kind of talk. So if he doesn't if you don't know what you're talking about, just please leave it alone. Okay, they got beat by a good team. It is what it is. That's just all I have to say. I have nothing to say about it. That's all I have to say. Cloud9 versus Billy Gaming was probably the one series that I have to say that it feels like Cloud9 could win this series. And boy, was I ever wrong. I was wrong. But also, I feel disappointed for Cloud9 for not, showing stuff. Like, let me just see. Match list, da 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 da. Go down, 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 go down. There you go. Okay. If you look at this 3-0, it was 34, 31, and 34 and 37. So at least you can say that it was some long-winded games, but it almost feels like every Cloud9 played so much, making so much mistakes, so much mistakes. That makes you want it to feel like have Cloud9 would have played better around the team fights, then I think they would have a chance to win at least a game of a BLG. And I feel like that's been the problem of every single Western teams throughout the tournament so far. It almost feels like they got the early game advantage, and then when it comes to team fighting and macro, they fall to the Eastern teams. And I think that's more of a over aggression on some of the Eastern teams' part of some of the Western teams' part. But I feel like, if you're going to face off against some of those teams, you cannot afford to make mistakes. It almost feels like right now it's like the soccer equivalent of Manchester City. When we all know Manchester City are superior or more talented than you or more cohesive than you. The moment you make a mistake, they will punish you and they will hurt you. I mean, just look at what happened to Everton. I mean, the fact that Everton managed to get a nil-nil scoreline at halftime and then lose to 3-0 with some quality players, it just showcases that you could be so good for some parts, but when you make a big mistake and make a small error, you can be punished, and the game was virtually over. And that's what literally happened to Cloud9 BLG. They were never given any kind of, you know, domination in some of the games or any other good plays that showcase they are great. Now, don't get me wrong, Elk was incredible in that series. And Fudge was like neither to factor in some of the games. His Kennen game sucks. His Scion game kind of sucks, and his two Scion games actually sucks. So yeah, it was brutal for Cloud9, and I feel like at this moment, if you're a Western League of Legends fan, you must be feeling like you already give up hope. Listen, this whole thing was screwed over when the tournament was started. Also, Oda really screwed up the draw. So if anybody sees Oda please beat him up for me, please. But it was a Kobayashi Maru from the beginning of the tournament. Before the draw was even mentioned, if the Western teams, if we couldn't have like an NAEU or an LPL LCK kind of bracket. This was the worst draw for a Western audience to realize. And we got it right there. We got everything that we wanted. Literally, we got stunts galore and some good efforts, but not enough, you know, how do I say this? Substance. Yeah, not enough substance. And then, of course, the JDG Golden Guardians was a 3-0 as well. But I got to shout out, Licorice. He was fantastic throughout the series. And Hui as well. I have to say that Licorice and Hui were pretty good throughout their Golden Guardians' entire run from here until now. So yes, even though it didn't end well for them, at least you can say that they put up a decent effort. Let's see. So let's see. Licorice did fine, I guess. So does Hui and everything, but it was all Ruler in that series. I mean, Ruler was fantastic in that series, and the Legend of Ruler I will tell you about the Legend of Ruler as well. But this was like an uphill battle for Golden Guardians throughout the series. And hell, I mean, if you look at Game Two, they were doing well, of course, in Game Two. They got kills, they got Rift Heralds, they got Drakes, and all those kind of stuff. They were doing so well in Game Two, and then it fell apart within 28 minutes, and then after that it was over. Around the Baron fight, around 27:30, and that's the same thing. You play so well around here, and then you make one mistake around here, and then the game kind of feels over after all of that. So, and while at least you can say the Golden Guardians put up a decent effort. At least you can say the Golden Guardians put up more effort than pretty much any Western team, sans G2, you can manage. I mean, they put up an effort. Nobody was giving Golden Guardians a chance against JDG anyways, but at least they show up and play decently well against a really good team, one of the best LPL teams ever, one of the best 80 carries ever, and at least to put up an effort. That's just fine, I guess. Let's just go down to the lower bracket matches, and I'm gonna just say this right now. I have little comfort within the Western teams going through the MSI. Which, don't get me wrong, I mean, these are the matches I expected it to happen, especially G2 Mad and Cloud9 Golden Guardians. The results were as expected as usual, but the way the games have been played, and I watched some of the games, Jesus Christ, the Baron throws on that G2 man lines. Hell, the throws on that G2 man lines. It just made me feel like, why am I watching this kind of League of Legends? Listen, I have been an LEC fan since G2 2019, winning the whole thing. Well, maybe of course 2020 when of course the COVID kind of hurts me, and then I have to watch League of Legends. But I was a fan because of the G2 2019 team. Jesus Christ, G2 2019 would have beat this G2 2022 team with macro and good team fighting and weird picks. That's what it is. Especially in Game 3 when they decided to throw Janna in the mix. Yeah, so at least they got that going. But it makes you want to feel like, who's the bigger winner of this series? Well, G2 overall, but do you feel good about this victory, G2? Do you feel happy about this? This is like one of those games that you feel like you don't win anything. Like there was no winner in this thing. You lose even if you win, sadly. And I feel like they need to improve well against a Billy Gaming. Now you think to yourself, okay, BLG is probably the weak team around there, but they got beaten by a good JDG team, a really good JDG team. So if G2 does not get their act together around BELG, it's going to be pretty depressing pretty quick. And the same thing with Cloud9 Golden Guardians. It was not even close by any stretch of the imagination. I feel like they should have. I feel like Game 3 was kind of like a weird game to me. Don't get me wrong, Golden Guardians play. Don't get me wrong. I feel like um Golden Guardians did well in Game 4 to make me feel Game 3. Sorry, gee, I mix up the games again. Yeah, Game 3, and I think they did fine. I think this is their only win they have, 35-04. Licorice was incredible, and that Poppy, of course. 6-Day was good, but Licorice himself was incredible on that Poppy, of course. All the helicopters and all those kind of stuff. So yeah, I have to say that if you are Golden Guardians fan, and I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you something, Golden Guardians fans. If you are a Golden Guardians fan or something. So yeah, I'm going to show you this. Um, let's just see. Kind of freeze a bit. Okay, there it is. There it is. Okay, let's just remember that. Let's see. Let's see. Let's just remember, everybody, that this is a Golden Guardians organization that finished 10th in back-to-back seasons. And the squad they have at that time were, and I mean, they even have the old logo, which they have Matt, definitely high contracts and low, and they finished bottom of the standings at 4-14. To go from 4-14 in 2018 to back-to-back 10th place to now being a middling team, and now here you are having your best run in pretty much ever in your split history. That counts for something. I mean, half of every single org would have taken your position and they would be like happy with it. The fact you made it that far and you performed so well, like they performed so well beyond belief, that I need to apologize to all the Golden Guardians fans who I put them on D tier, because the reason why I put them on D tier, because as good as they are, they probably gonna turn to a pumpkin and perform pretty badly. And I was wrong. They did well against BLG. They did well against BLG. Won a game against them, which is something achievable, of course. Licorice was incredible throughout this tournament. Stixay and Hui was also good. River and Gory were brilliant as well. So despite some of their limitations, of course, and despite their inexperience for the organization, I said they've done pretty well. Pretty well for a team that for an organization that haven't done well and the players who haven't achieved as much in some of the years. So I said good job, Golden Guardians, I guess. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Um and now we move on to the upper bracket matchups. I'm gonna tell you, please go watch Gen GT1. My God, that was absolutely fun. I mean, that was absolutely fun, especially game three, in which everybody was thinking that T1's gonna win that whole thing, and then it was the Chovy stopwatch. He bought the stopwatch and then stopped himself under the fountain and then killed Bolt and then literally saved the game for them. And at that point, I was thinking this will be a 3-0, and then Genji dominated in game four, and then T1 won in game five, in which it was like a slow arm wrestling, two guys arm wrestling around the middle, like no resistance, and then T1 had that one fight and then crushed them. I kind of like one of those games. But the fact is that this game ended at 26:05. Dude, go watch back the game. It feels like 40 minutes to me. The game was ended at 26 minutes, which Chronicle actually predicted in his cast. By the way, shout out to Atlas and Chronicle. They are wonderful. Please give them a round of applause and appreciate them on their Twitter. I could appreciate them, but I'm not a Twitter bug by any stretch of the imagination. But good job, guys. But yeah, it was a 26-minute game that feels like a 40-minute game. That's how it is. But it was a good series. It was a very good series. And here is the thing that many people complain about. All you people who complain about we're going to have the same old boring matchups in the bracket stages throughout MSI and all those things. I have one thing to say about you. Guys, we have been waiting 10 you guys wanted this for 10 years, okay? You guys wanted those double elimination, all those kind of brackets for 10 years, and now do you finally get it? You must be feeling like this bracket is better than any other bracket. Hell, I bet you this bracket is better than the world's bracket that we have. I mean, look, let's just look at worlds. Can we look at worlds? Can we look at worlds 2023 format before we come back to this? Let's look at world 2023 format. So this world 2023 format is going to be your play-ins matchups. Okay. Can I exit out? No. Okay. Okay, I should ignore it. Okay, yes. Sorry about that. The format of this thing will be 8 teams divided into two groups of the double elimination, and all best of threes with the bottom two and the top two and the bottom two, and then 4 teams play in the play one with the upper bracket, and all the matches will be best of 5, and the 2 winners advance to Swiss. Swiss. Now keep this in mind. What am I going to say? The 2 teams from the Swiss in the play-ins will join them, and it'll be a 16-team bracket in which is going to be elimination advancement matches are best of threes, and then all the other matches will be best of ones. It is simply basically like the CS:GO format that we have right now. And let me tell you, it's not great, Chief. It's not a bracket that, although it's a competitive, yes, it's not going to move a lot of needles. Not yes, I know the MSI bracket. At least you can say that it's good. We have double elimination, best of 5 every single day. Pump me into my veins. The world's format, it kind of feels like it's good, but it's not gonna make me feel like I'm ready for worlds. Plus, I have to wake up like 3 a.m. in the morning, which count me out. I can't. So yeah, I feel like this format is so much better, so much incredible because we get all those best of 5s, and also we get some of the matches that we kind of wanted, like the Gen GT1 rematch from the LCK finals, which we have like 3 times in a row, and it was good. It was a great, great series between these two. This is T1's first international Game 5 victory in 6 years, mind you. Now, yes, I know they haven't won best. I know they won best of 5s in regional matches, but this is the first time that T1 has won an international best of 5 Game 5 win since RNG 2017. That's how long that was. That's how really long that was for a Game 5 victory for T1. It was so the relief on their faces was incredible. They almost felt like they won the whole thing, even though they have to win this one and then this one, which we all know T1 has not done yet. So yeah. But of course, their opponents will be JDG. And I can tell you right now, I cannot wait for the T1 JDG rematch. Yeah. If you're thinking the T1 JDG rematch from Worlds last year was kind of okay, this rematch from the MSI will be absolutely bonkers. And before we get into that, I think I'm gonna say that JDG team fighting is incredible. I want you to go back to that game 3 Baron fight in which BLG trying to hook on River, trying to kill off River, but it almost feels like Knight Syndra, who is really good on, is like pushed away and away and away, and just did not allow them to get through River. They did not allow them to get through Ruler at any point of the fight, and essentially like Ruler popping off, and the whole team destroyed them, and they won the fight, and they got the Baron and won the fight. Although the last two times, although they got their Baron stolen the last 2 times, it doesn't even matter. So yeah, JDG are really good. This is like this is a super team that I feel like they can win, and solidifies my, dare I say, S tier status of a team that I really want him to win, because 369 has been okay, but we know how good he is. Knight is good, Ruler is good. So, and then of course you have to figure out how you ban these guys. I don't know, man. You figure out. You figure out how to ban them. It's really tough. So I feel so as we go through the next 3 matches and beyond, of course. I'm going. So I feel like T1 and JDG is pretty much a tough matchup to call, and because of how good both these teams are, the bot lane is pretty much like the be and all end all of the how do I say, matchup. Top lane can be tough. We all know the mid lane battle between Knight and Faker is pretty much tough. So I think this will be a really close series. I think because T1 are not in the finals yet, and because of the history that they have, I feel like I'm going with a T1 3-2 victory over JDG. And then of course we got, and also that will be the Thursday matchup. The Wednesday matchup will be G2 versus BLG. I think G2 have not, they beat Mad Lions, but it wasn't a clean series by any stretch of imagination. I feel like the only player who can perform well is Yike. Caps is he's not gonna do anything in this MSI. That Caps being the greatest mid laner ever, that ship is already gone right now. It's all about the rookie in Yike, and he's been performing well throughout the tournament. But I think bot lane is gonna be volatile. I think mid lane is gonna be volatile as well. And I feel like although BLG lost that series against JDG, I think their style of opponents will be a lot different than the ones they have faced JDG. So I think I go with G2 losing 3-1 to BLG. And then I'm going Gen G defeating Cloud9 3-0. And then, of course, I'm going to go with my predictions. So I'm going to have BLG versus Gen G. And I'm going with let's call it Gen G 3-1 over BLG. And then you got like JDG, and then you got Gen G versus JDG. I got a 3-2 series win. I think I go with Gen G versus. I'd go in 3-2 Gen G over GDG, and then we got the All Korean matchup, the rematch, and this time I am going with a Gen G 3-2 victory. So there you go. Those are my predictions for the rest of the series, for the rest of how this MSI will go. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think I got a lot of flame, of course, but at the same time, I think I feel like Gen G, we saw what they did in the LCK tournament. They have not read the meta well, but as time goes on, as they get more practice and more game time, they will understand the meta as well. Peanut, we do not want to see you in Nidalee jungle. Please don't. It hurts. It hurts. And I feel like right now, I feel like Genji could take care of this, all the rest of the teams there. And I feel like they could run the table and win another lower bracket final, which they did, of course, in the LCK. You never know. You just never know on this day. So, anyways, I think that should do it. That should cover up all the MSI and what I've missed and all this kind of stuff. So, hey, guys, we are 3 subscribers away from 20. Yeah, not 20,000, 20. I know it's not a huge number for me, but you know what? I don't care about the numbers or the money or anything about it. I'm just here to show you some content and have a good time. That's all I have to do. So if you please like this, if you please love all the stuff that I do, please give a like and subscribe and comment about what I think. Is the video good? Should I do a little bit more or something? So anyways, I will see you all later. Ciao everyone.